It started out very scary. I can tell you that mid-February I was up by about 8% year over year, which is some nice sort of steady growth. And then whenever the big sort of speeches and announcements started coming out, say late February or early March on COVID-19, by the end of March, I was down 25% for the year. And I was really, really very scared at that moment. And then April came along, and it was very odd because everyone is locked inside of their homes and they need audio equipment. And all of a sudden, we're doubling or more our business.
Hey, I'm Dave Rubin, and it's Small Business Week here on the Rubin Report. Joining me today is Warren Dent, owner of Zen Pro Audio from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Warren, welcome to the show.
Good to see you, Dave.
So I thought you would be the perfect guy to kick Small Business Week off because you're the only person this week in the interviews that I'm going to be doing that I actually know. So I want to give you major props first because you were a patron, you were a viewer of the Rubin Report many years ago when we were on Patreon. We got to know each other a little bit on video chats. And when I built this home studio, you said, hey, I've got an audio company and Dave, I want to hook you up. And you donated, gave, I don't know what word you want to use, all of our audio stuff. So all of our sound panels, people can see your sound panels behind you. You gave us about 40 sound panels. You wrote out a great grid for us. My microphone, my IFB, you donated all that and your time. You've been here and pointed out some things we could switch around. So number one, thank you, Warren Dent. I don't know that I've done that publicly before. I've done it privately many times.
You're very welcome, and I'm still very happy to have done that. I think it's just wonderful, and I love what you're doing.
All right, well, let's talk about you a little bit. What got you into creating your company, Zen Pro Audio? Did you always want to be a small business person? And really what I want to do for these 10 minutes is learn about not only your business, but what's going on because of COVID, because of just the general tumult in the world right now. How's business been for you? And how can we help you, the people that are watching this?
Yeah, so we're a pro audio online company only, so we don't have a storefront, so it's strictly e-commerce. So we sell a lot of things like microphones and recording interfaces and things for home studios. Podcasters could find a fair amount of items that would work out well for them here also. As far as my history goes, I grew up with my grandfather owning multiple businesses as well as my grandmother in a small town. My dad, even before he became disabled, my dad was also a small business owner. So yeah, I think it was a thing that I always knew in the back of my mind that I could try. Years ago, I started a partnership company with somebody else, and that didn't work out really for either of us. So I left to start ZenPro at the very beginning of 2009. And so I've been doing this. We're on our 11th year now. We are still a two-man company. I own the company, and there's a full-time employee here as well. And so we're known for some kind of quirky things, like we do some modifications and repairs on certain items that other dealers don't touch, and it helps us to stand out against the big box shifter stores.
By the way, I know that you're a two-man operation, but you also, how many kids do you have, my friend?
Just 8.
You just 8, and I believe they're all homeschooled. Am I making that up?
Every one of them. My children have never set foot inside of a public school building, so we very much believe in homeschooling.
So you may only have one other employee with you, but you're running quite an operation over there in South Carolina. So business for you, I know, because people are podcasting, tons of people are doing stuff from home. Business for you for the last couple months has been pretty good. But one of the things that I saw in the notes that my guys gave me is that it's sort of erratic just because of the way the economy's been, right?
Yes, it started out very scary. I can tell you that mid-February I was up by about 8% year over year, which is some nice sort of steady growth. And then whenever the big sort of speeches and announcements started coming out, say late February or early March on COVID-19, by the end of March, I was down 25% for the year. And I was really, really very scared at that moment. And then April came along, And it was very odd because everyone is locked inside of their homes and they need audio equipment. And all of a sudden, we're doubling or more our business. And so from April on, things have actually been very good. I don't know how long it will last. You know, I'm not a gambling guy at all, but that was very interesting. I went for really scared. I mean, 10 people rely on me for their livelihood, for their food, for their shelter, for everything. And so, boy, I was really just torn up over it. And then when April hit, I was like, oh my gosh, I guess for now we're going to be okay. So yes, business right now is actually quite good, being in e-commerce only and selling items that people really need. There's one thing that I found funny is that the Joe Rogan mic, which is a model from Shure, that mic, we always sell a fair amount of that microphone. When everybody got locked inside of their house, that mic flew off the shelf and went on a nationwide back order instantly. So the good and probably the bad news is everybody's probably starting their new podcast because they're locked inside of their house.
Because if we need anything right now, it's more and more podcasts. There definitely aren't enough podcasts. Can you kind of talk about just generally your philosophy related to business, like as far as how do you decide how much stuff to order, how much debt to accrue or not to accrue, how to stay slim and trim? As I said, it's just, as you said, it's just you and one other guy over there.
Correct. So, I mean, I make all of those decisions as the owner. I will tell you that one of the things that has been key is trying to get in front of interruptions to the supply chain. So I've even reached out to some suppliers, especially in the early weeks, and I said, look, guys, tell me what you have. And you could start to see the gaps that were coming up, and I would just go ahead and overload. So something that I might stock 3 or 4, I might order 20 or 30. And then by the time they would get here, including the Joe Rogan mic, all of that stuff would ship right out the door. So it has changed the way that I have to look at the market from a stocking standpoint on certain items that are extremely popular.
Yeah. What else is going on business-wise, do you think? Like as small business owners, what are you guys seeing maybe besides the supply chain? Although I guess that is a huge amount of it. That maybe just the average person that, you know, works for a company but isn't the owner of a business isn't going to see.
Wow. I mean, in my small town, I mean, there's been, you know, some restaurants that have just gone ahead and left. I've watched them do that. I feel like brick and mortar would be the real question here, which luckily I'm not subject to that. We all know that brick and mortar in certain industries has been very, very difficult for people. That's the part that I fear the most. Us e-commerce guys, I've been e-commerce since day one of this business. And so watching those brick and mortars really struggle, I've been out to a few. It's really heartbreaking to see such a thing because they don't have a good online presence, and their own governments are obviously locking them out of these buildings and telling them that it's for their own good. So that's the part I think is going to be super bad.
When you see a store like Best Buy or some of the big box stores that sell some of the types of stuff that you sell, does it seem like a dinosaur at this point? Just the other day, I was returning a computer to Best Buy that I bought in the middle of lockdown. I was trying to return it. I had to wait online for about an hour. You can't go into the store. If you want to buy something else, you have to order in advance. Like the whole thing seems kind of crazy where you can find a guy in South Carolina, ZenProAudio.com, and you can get all that stuff. And I'm sure you got a pretty decent return policy if it doesn't work out. And that these big box stores, it almost seems like it's just going to be a total relic of the past.
It does cut out that step. So in other words, we actually don't do a lot of returns here. We're pretty good at qualifying customers for their needs. But I will say that it does cut out that part of the process. So if somebody wants to return something to us, they probably need to go to the UPS store or FedEx or something. But as far as Best Buy, you specifically mentioned them. I will personally say the reason that I like Best Buy is because if I want to buy a TV, I can go look at it and walk out the store with it. I think there's value in that. I needed a piece of furniture for my daughter a few weeks ago, and I realized that Best Buy was doing things by appointment only. I hate to say it. I just went ahead and bought what I needed somewhere else because that's a pain. And I also live about 40 miles from the store, and it was difficult to go, oh, hey, I'm going to be there at this particular time, and can you let me in? I really didn't like that. And so I don't blame Best Buy for that as much as I blame authorities for telling them that they have to do certain things. And then you and I both know it's the lawyers at the end of the day that are affecting business. They are telling businesses like Best Buy, you have got to do these certain things, because if one COVID case is traced back to a guy checking out a TV in your store, there's going to be a class action suit or something like that. So I do believe that is part of what's going on.
Well, we have done some of our libertarian beliefs over drinks, so we'll have to leave that to the next time I see you in person.
I just want to clarify
I
just want to clarify you're misremembering I don't drink, but that's okay.
Oh,
the last time we hung the last time we hung out
I believe
wasn't
you
a bar
had,
though.
It was at a bar. I think you had club soda or something. Somebody had a drink.
I think you bought me a Coke anyway.
I bought you a Coke. Jordan Peterson was there. Won't say what he drank.
Yes,
it was a good time. Anyway, listen, pimp yourself out for the good people. Oh, and I should mention that in the midst of all of this craziness, and again, we did not know each other a couple years ago, and you donated all this stuff, and I'm super appreciative of it. But you've also become an investor in locals.com because you believe in the mission. So that's another sort of small business type operation in the startup world. But pimp out Zen Pro audio for the people that are podcasting or want to hear their video games better or whatever else it might be.
Sure, we ship worldwide. We've got quite a selection of things that are in stock. A lot of things we're waiting on right now. But yeah, check us out at zenproaudio.com. Again, we're an owner-operated business, a two-man operation. We do offer some customized mods and some other things like that to try to separate ourselves from the others. Free ship on most orders like anyone else. So sure, it'd be great if people wanted to check us out.
All right, thank you, my friend. ZenProAudio.com. If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about lifestyles instead of nonstop yelling, check out our lifestyle playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, check out our full episode playlist. They're both right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.